Okay, and welcome to a bonus edition of the Personal Trainer Playbook Academy. My name is Coach Brian, if you don't know me, and today we're going to go through the 10 commandments of personal training. So these are the 10 things you need to know as a trainer, if you don't know them already, and the 10 things that you should focus on, especially in your first year as a trainer, that are going to really drive the bus in terms of making you successful in this career. So these are all things we've talked about in the academy, but I wanted to kind of distill them down into 10 commandments because it's kind of a nice, catchy tactic here. So we're going to go through each 10. We're going to clip them into 10 separate little modules here, but we're going to go through them right now. We're going to start with number one. So number one, much like the Hippocratic Oath, is to do no harm. Do not injure yourself or your clients, or, this is the big or, injure their desire to train or exercise with you because you're being an asshole. So obviously with do no harm, the main focus is do not get these people hurt in the gym. These are people probably that haven't exercised that much. They might not have been exercising a lot on their own before they started working with you. The last thing that you want to do is give them a bad association with the gym, a bad association with lifting weights, or a bad association with exercise. And an easy way to do that is to get them hurt. People don't get hurt in the gym very often. I think this is kind of a misnomer, and people get hurt when they're training like assholes, or they have an asshole trainer who's training them like an asshole. Okay? That's how people get hurt. Too much load, a shitty technique, unnecessary exercises. These are all ways to get hurt, but if you're just doing the bare minimum in terms of safety, you shouldn't get people hurt. The bigger thing to me is do no harm to this person's want or desire to exercise. What do I mean by that? Do not give them a bad association with exercise. Do not be a hard ass about it. Do not make them feel bad about the fact that they haven't been doing it enough, or they're not working hard enough, or whatever it may be. Your goal and your job is to get them to get in the gym with you and without you for the next 6 months, for the next 6 years, for the next 60 years. You should be putting on as much of a positive spin on exercise as you can to get this person to buy in. That's one of your jobs as a trainer, not to just drop 20 pounds for them or put on 10 pounds of muscle mass. Can you get them exercising, and can you give them a good association with exercise and a positive association with exercise for the rest of their life? That's really what your job is. Okay, so that goes back to number one of do no harm. Number two, be a pro, not an amateur. Take it seriously, show up on time and be prepared. Don't fuck your clients, and give your clients the best experience possible. So I've gone through this idea of being a pro and turning pro that comes from some of the Stephen Pressfield books. One of them is called Turning Pro. And it's really this idea of taking shit seriously, being a grown-up, being an adult, being a professional, and not being an amateur. And it's not to say that you can't spend a little bit of time fucking around as a trainer while you get your feet wet and while you start to realize if this is the career that you want to take. But the quicker you make that leap, the quicker you're going to start making more money. You're going to feel more fulfilled with this career, and you're just going to know you're on the right path. So the amateur trainers out there are the ones that do not show up on time, show up without a plan, fuck their clients, flirt with their clients, send their clients dick pics, whatever it happens to be. Just don't do that. And you're better than that. If you're taking this course and you're watching this video, you're better than that, and you want more than that. If that's what you want out of training, if you became a trainer to meet girls and guys in the gym, that's fine, but this isn't for you. You don't give a shit about being a pro. You don't give a shit about being better at this. Just go fuck chicks at the gym. That's fine. But you're an amateur, and you're going to always be an amateur until you take the step about turning pro. Number three, have a plan. Have some clue what your client's goals are and what they're trying to accomplish. Put them on a path to achieving them, and let them know what the plan is. I've talked about this a lot. Most clients' goals are going to be very similar. Losing weight, gaining muscle, gaining strength, becoming more mobile, getting out of pain. They're all going to fit sort of anywhere in that bucket. Now, the why for why they want those goals is going to be completely different. That's something you have to dig in and dive into during the consultation. But you want to have a plan for this person's success. And it doesn't have to be super complicated. It doesn't have to be that intricate. It doesn't have to be that sophisticated. But people want to know that you've put some thought into this process. They don't just want to feel like you're going out there when they come in every day and you're just slapping it out there, walking around the gym to see which machines aren't being used so that that's the next thing you hop on for 3 sets of 10. That can be part of a plan, but that's not the plan. So for most people, it's as simple as we're going to get you in the gym 2 to 3 times a week. We're going to squat, hinge, push, pull every session. We're going to work on some accessory movements to help with some things that are lagging behind or some things that are bothering you. But there is a plan. Over the next 6 months, we're going to work on, building muscle mass. And then over the following 6 months, we're going to work on, some nutritional interventions to lose some body fat. That's as sophisticated as it needs to be. But tell them what the plan is. People don't like to know that they're flying blind, especially when they're paying a lot of money for somebody that, is supposedly an expert. Have a plan for them, communicate that plan, and do your best to execute the plan with the client. Number 4, empower, don't cower. Give them the tools they need for their own fitness goals. Don't withhold informations or secrets, thinking they will keep them training with you. This is a scarcity mindset, and I want you to think in abundance. Self-determination theory rules here, and I'll talk about that in a second. So again, this goes back to, as the trainer, your goal is to get this person to buy in to exercise, to fitness, to strength training, all of the above. You are an expert, but your job is to share your expertise. It's not to withhold information and sort of hang it over the client in some sort of means to say, hey, listen, if you don't train with me, you're never going to get access to everything I know. It's really idiotic. It is a total scarcity mindset. It's a mindset where you're coming from a place of insecurity, thinking that, well, if this person knows all the things about fitness that I know, then they're not going to train with me, or they're going to go to another trainer, or whatever it is. Share everything you know, because guess what? What you know at some point was shared with you by somebody else. You didn't invent shit. Nobody in history, nobody in the last 50 years of fitness has really, quote, invented something. Everything is a derivation of something else. It's an idea that somebody else had that you put your own spin on, and feel free to put your own spin on things. Absolutely. But nothing is yours. Everything is everyone's. It's like somebody who walks into the fucking gym and parks on the leg press machine and acts like it's theirs when nobody, it's the entire gym's machine. So share everything you know and try to empower the client to learn as much as they can, because that's when you're going to get clients that actually see change. Remember, you're only with them 2 or 3 hours a week. If they're not doing anything for the rest of the week, they're not going to see any changes. That's it. So for those 2-3 hours, educate them on the process, educate them on fitness, but don't withhold information and empower them. Number 5, live the life. Don't preach consistency in the gym and not show it. Don't preach moderation and with food and booze and not show it. Live the life you preach. Don't preach the importance of sleep and sleep 5 hours a night. Nobody likes a hypocrite. This one is really just about being authentic and not being full of shit. Because if you're somebody who's coming from a position of authority and you're telling people that they need to be in the gym 2-3 days a week lifting weights and they need to, monitor their calorie intake, and these are obviously not things you're doing yourself, then you're just full of shit. That's it. I wouldn't, you're not a bad person. I don't think you necessarily like an evil trainer, but you're not buying in yourself. So then how could you ever expect your clients to buy in to what you're selling them? So this doesn't mean you have to be the trainer that says you need to track your calories, all day, every day. You can't have alcohol because alcohol is poison. If you really believe that and you preach it, you better fucking do it, because you're going to come off as just someone who's full of shit. So the way I do this with my clients is, I take a little bit of a moderation approach with my own life, and that's what I preach to them. I'll tell them, hey, listen, there's times during the year where I track my calories. There's times where I eat whatever I want, and I'm drinking alcohol most of the year. I try to limit it to, a certain number per week, but, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I expect that of them. I don't expect them to cut out alcohol and then say, I'm going to drink as much as I want. I don't expect them to track their calories every single day and then me never do it. Be the person that you want them to be and be an example. That's what you should do, because that's what people look for. They hear you, they listen to you, but they see you also. And if they see what you're doing is working, they think it will work for them as well, and you're going to get more buy-in and more clients. Number 6, be a sounding board, but not a punching bag. Allow your clients to vent to you and open up to you, but don't turn every session into a bitch fest. They're here to work. Your clients are going to share with you a lot of different things. I mean, if you spend an hour with somebody, pretty much, uninterrupted, undivided attention, a couple times a week, so 3 hours a week, let's say, over the course of months and years, that's a lot of time. And that's a lot of time talking and a lot of kind of airspace to fill. They're going to tell you some shit. And I've told them shit. I've got dirt on them. They've got dirt from me. And it can be a little bit of it can be enticing to just spend the entire hour just getting shit off your chest. Because a lot of times, these are things that people won't tell their family. They won't tell their friends. They trust you as their trainer. You're close to them, but not close enough that they would feel that you could use this information against them in some way. So for a lot of people, it's sort of this open season on bitching. And my advice to you would be, let them bitch a little bit, but cut it off at a certain point, because especially sort of negative thoughts and negative shit talk is not going to benefit their training at all. It's good for people to get stuff off their chest and not feel weighed down by things that are really bothering them, but it's not the best way to train, to just, feel like you're just, bitching about things constantly in between sets of bench press. That's probably not the best way to get the most out of your bench press. So allow them some air, allow them some time to vent. But if it gets too much, just say, hey, listen, I get it. I understand where you're coming from, but let's just focus on this for the next couple minutes because we're here to work. Number 7, keep it confidential. Your clients will open up to you about a lot of things. Under no circumstances can you break that trust and share anything they don't want to be shared. So this goes along with number 6. I mean, they're going to tell you stuff. I've had clients share with me very, very intimate details about their life, about other people, about their partners, all sorts of shit. And this, kind of should go without saying, but do not violate that trust. Because if they're trusting you enough to tell you something very personal to them, and they've made it clear that they do not want that to be repeated, don't fucking repeat it. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I know you're going to have, gossip is an interesting thing, because I think we've evolved to gossip, because, gossip is valuable information. If you're getting information from somebody that is not well known, or, just they haven't told that many people, there's some value to that. And they're actually showing you they care enough about you, and they feel like you care enough about them not to share it with somebody else. And when we evolved, there wasn't the internet, there wasn't, books out there. We're talking about prehistoric humans. They needed to be able to share information with other people about what was going on around them, because otherwise they'd have no other way to know. So this information was valuable. And I feel like that's why we've evolved to gossip. And I think that's why people actually enjoy it, and they take a lot of stock in it. But the one thing you can't do is violate the trust, especially within your client group. So don't tell clients about other clients, especially if it's stuff that's personal. Just don't do it, because ultimately, if they've trusted enough in you to give you information, you don't want to break that trust. Number 8, be dependable. If you say you're going to do something, fucking do it. I mean, this is just sort of life lesson 101. Just be the person that does what you say you're going to do. With training, this can manifest itself in a number of different ways. Number 1, obviously, if you're going to say, let's train at 9 a.m., be there at 9 a.m. Don't fuck around with people's times. Don't show up late. Don't show up looking like shit. Just be dependable. If you say you're going to put some workouts in True Coach or Excel for them to do on their vacation, do it. Don't forget. If you do forget, make yourself a note so that you don't. This is something I struggled with early on. You tell somebody something at the end of a session and then you have somebody coming in 2 minutes later and you forget all about it. Use a notebook, use a notes app. Don't forget things. Be dependable. If you say you're going to do something, then fucking do it. Number 9, keep yourself weird. If you're weird, be weird. Be yourself and you will attract the clients that want to be around you. Authenticity is king. This just comes down to being yourself and being authentic and not trying to play the role of the quote trainer all the time. Just be you. And we talked about it a little bit in the consult module where at the beginning, when you first meet somebody, you got to tread a little bit lightly. You don't want to be too weird right away. But if you're somebody that has a quirky personality, you like to make off-color jokes, you like to, sing random songs, you're just kind of a weird person, which we're all weird in our own way. Let that come out, because what it's going to do is it's going to attract those types of people to you. There's like a weird Darwinism where those clients that are not they don't feel that sort of weirdness, they might not train with you that long, and that's fine, because those aren't people you'd want to train with anyway, because they're just not going to jive with your personality. Really, people are looking for authentic people. They really just want to know that you're being yourself and you're not putting up a front. And so many trainers and so many people are just putting up fronts. And it's like, what's the point of that? If they're going to spend hours and hours and hours with you, they want to know that they're training with the actual person that is you and not some facsimile of you, not some AI version of you. Because at the end of the day, they could have any training program online that they pay for. They could train with an online trainer. They could do all sorts of things, but they're paying to train with you. So if you're not giving them your authentic self, then you're just, you're pissing away their money and you're fooling yourself too. And the 10th of the 10 commandments of personal training, your clients are buying you. Give them their money's worth by giving them the best version of yourself. So this kind of goes to number 9, where, I want you to keep yourself weird and keep yourself authentic. These people could train with anyone. They could buy any online training program. They could follow anyone's workout advice, but really what they're paying money for is you. Now, it doesn't have to be they just want a chit-chat buddy or they just want somebody who's just like them that they can be friends with. But they're buying you in every sort of way. They're buying your take on fitness. They're buying your take on TV shows that you've watched. They're buying your personality. They're buying everything about you. So when you show up to each session, try to give people the best version of yourself or the most authentic version of you. It doesn't have to be your number 1 A game every time, because that's just not possible. Okay? There's going to be times you're tired. There's going to be times you feel like shit. There's going to be times you've done 7 sessions in a row. And what I like to tell people is I try to give the 7th session of the day the same experience as the person who's the first session of the day. I try. Sometimes I come up short because it's just a long fucking day. But try to give them the best version of you, because at the end of the day, they're paying for you. They're not paying to lift weights. They're paying to train with